Welcome to the Barley Wine Beer Geek. Or should that be Garly Wally Beaky Walker? Welcome back to Beer Geek. What a way to crash back into the channel with a beer style that's as strong as its fans are enthusiastic. Now, barley wine can be traced back all the way to the 18th century, when us Brits weren't a huge fan of our French neighbours. Countless conflicts between us and our cousins on the continent led to a general feeling of disdain towards our brie-hungry relatives. The British upper classes turned to some homegrown produce to whip out at parties, instead of the usual French wine. They turned to strong ales, usually around 12%, stored for 2 years and given the name barley wine, despite actually being a beer. Think about it, wine is fermented juice, and the last time I checked, if you put barley in a blender, you don't get all that much juice. Some of the stalwarts in UK beer history, such as Tennant's and Bass, were the early pace setters, with more and more style replications coming out since then. So how do they taste? I've delved deep into my beer store to give one a try. This is from Ontario's Cameron's Brewery, and this is their early bird breakfast barley wine. This one's a little different from your classic barley wine, as it's got Canadian maple syrup and cold steeped coffee to give it a real sunrise feel about it. It's been aged in bourbon barrels, and from what I read online, the backbone of the flavour of barley wine is still there. The style itself tends to be fruity, boozy and sweet, with depending on the malt bill they can be a bit more chocolatey and coffee. There are two cross-continental styles of barley wine. American barley wine is a bit more hoppier, a bit more bitter, while the British version of barley wine is less bitter, more mellow and darker. The style itself has maybe fallen a little bit out of favour with the regular beer drinker, but there is a core group of craft beer lovers that are really championing it at every opportunity. The aging process of the beer makes it a perfect one for people to take to bottle shares and whip out their rarest specimen of barley wine. Personally, I think the problem's in the name of the style, but that's not going to change anytime soon. I think a better name would be strong beer. Really fucking strong beer. There you go, the history of one of the more unusual beer styles you may see on the shelf. You probably won't see it on the shelf. Let's get this breakfast barley wine into a glass. See what it brings to the breakfast table. It's a really nicely designed can, really clear with the flavours. You've got hubby, chuknook, hops, amber and two-row malts. As I said, you've got maple syrup and some freshly brewed coffee in there. This one probably isn't the most appropriate for breakfast. It's coming in at 11.8%. Cameron's is a special brewery to my heart. Becky's cousin is the head brewer over there. I was lucky enough when we went on our Canadian trip last year to go and see the operation, and quite the operation it is. So there you go, it's more of a classic North American style barley wine, lighter in colour, not as kind of the Death Knight as you'd expect, but yeah, lovely off-white head sticking around. That is a beautiful, nice bit of carbonation in there. Yeah, 2 fingers of off-white head. It's basically looks like maple syrup with a head on it. That is a stunner. Let's give it a whiffo. Oh yeah, woody. Oh, it smells super sweet. Oh, you got caramel syrup. There's some nice kind of raisin, really preserved, sweet preserved fruits. Just nutty and bready. Like bread with nuts on it. Cheers. Oh wow, woozer willies. Oh wow, woozer willies. What is this new phrase? I'm just not a fan of that. Oh, okay. Whoa, that's potent. Oh, it's making me feel all the feels. Okay, so it's earthy and rich. There's a nice grassy kind of pepperiness to it as well that's keeping everything above the surface and not bringing you down with it. It's not a kind of claggy, heavy, the alcohol on it. You know it's there, but it's so warming. It tingles you all the way down to your heels. Doesn't go to the toes, mind, but just the heels. It's just a lovely sensation in the mouth. It's warming, not burning. It's comforting. Just what you want at breakfast. Got quite a subdued bitterness on it, but any time that you get a bite of the coffee through, then you get a bit more of that bitter bite. Not getting too much maple syrup, but maybe it's bringing through more of a smoky, woody sensation as opposed to a super sweet, which is just complementing the coffee really well. Fucking hell. Holy shit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna take off my clothes and sit with that. Not all my clothes. And sit with that and enjoy that for the rest of the afternoon. That is a delicious beer. I wish I could go out and give some beer drinkers that beer and say, it's not a barley wine, and try it first, and then tell them it's a barley wine. Because I think that's all you need. People are afraid to order it because it sounds fucking disgusting. I don't want no wine made of barley, that's gonna be dry as shit. That's all for this episode of Beer Geek. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the return of everybody's favourite series to leave horrible comments on. Remember to check me out on Instagram, pint-sized and Twitter, Ollie Hayden, and I'll see you all again next time. Subscribe if you like what you saw, or I'll come and find you and make you do it.
The shit bag. The shit bag. You large shit bag.
Got some Côte de Rhone. Barley wine. Mate, you got any white? You got any Côte de Rhone? Worst pie of ever been to. It's gonna be dry as balls. It's gonna be dry as balls. Anyway, like, it's the worst pie I've ever been to.